Alright guys, well welcome here. We are playing Status Pro Baseball. This is game number 3 of the World Series from 1970. Cincinnati at Baltimore, October 13th, 1970. This is Historic Lineups. This is your host ID Jester. Thanks for joining me. Once again, we are running live action here on my channel. So let's look at the lineups quickly. Pete Rose, right fielder. Bobby Tolan, center fielder. Tony Perez, third base. Johnny Bench catching. Lee May first. Hal McRae, left field. Tommy Helms at second. Dave Concepcion at short. And pitching, Tony Cloninger. For Baltimore, it'll be Don Buford at left field. Mark Bellinger in short. Bog Powell, first base. Frank Robinson, right field. Paul Blair in center. Brooks Robinson, third. Davey Johnson, second. Andy Etchenberry catching, and Dave McNally on the hill for Baltimore. We're going to be using the dice as opposed to the fast action cards. And think that's about ready. I think we're about ready here, so let's see what happens. So, Pete Rose versus Dave McNally. Oh, yes, before we do that, actually, almost forgot. I got something else we need to check for. Let's check for our pitchers' status here. We are in Memorial Stadium, 1970. So, you can see here, we'll first roll for Tony Cloninger to see if he's got, let's see, if he's got any good stuff. Looks like you need less than a 31 to get some good stuff. Obviously, the first two dice will be the two 6-siders. The second two dice are the two 8-siders. So we'll just use the two 8-siders. And we get to 27. So actually, 27 is going to be a +1 for Tony Cloninger. So he's got better stuff. So he'll be 2-8 across the board. I believe that's the next step up. Let's roll for the Baltimore pitcher now. The home pitcher. That's a 35, so he's just going to have normal stuff. No adjustments. All right. So let's actually step out just for a second here and look at our 2 to 7. You would think it's 2 to 8, but it might be like 4 to 7 is the next step up, or something like that. Maybe it's 2 to 6, and then you go to 4 to 7, and then 2 to 7, possibly. Let me just check the rules real quick here. Status Pro rules. Yada, yada, yada. It's down here. Pitch reduction. All right, so yeah, it's 2 to 5, then 2 to 6, then 4 to 7, then 2 to 7, then 2 to 8. So step up for Tony Cloninger, as he is going to be going 2 to 8, 2 to 8. So good for him. All right. So Pete Rose versus Dave McNally. Pete Rose is a switch hitter, so he's going to be batting from the right side against the left-hander Dave McNally. Won 24 games. All right, let's get things underway. And we got an 8 against, what did I say, right-hander. So that's going to be off of Pete Rose. We rolled a 57. 57 is going to be an out. What kind of out is it? And it is going to be against a LN. No, I'm sorry, RN. RN roll of 71. It's going to be a fly ball to left field. So Pete Rose, F7, out. That brings up Bobby Tolan. Bobby Tolan against Dave McNally. 1 out here in the World Series game number 3. We got a 10, so it's coming off the batter card against the left-hander. 82 is going to be an out. What kind of out is it? He is going to be an LN against the left-handed. So 57 LN is going to be ground ball hit to short. G6. All right, so two-way here for Tony Perez. Tony Perez, the third baseman, against Dave McNally, righty versus lefty. That's a 10, so once again, coming off of the batter's card. I got to remember to look for errors. So if we roll doubles, so like 4-4, we would check for errors. Certain rolls would be CD checks and stuff. So that's a 10, so off a Perez card, off the lefty, 27. 27 is going to be a single into right field, so an S1. And that gets Tony Perez on board. He's a C-plus Steeler. Not great. With Johnny Bench up, we'll let Johnny Bench hit. The catcher. That's an 8 against a right-hander, so it's going to come off of Johnny Bench's card. 77, though, is an out. What kind of out is it? Against the lefty, he's an RP. And that's an 85 against an RP. 85 is going to be fly ball into right field, F9. So, let's see here. We got just one hit by Cincinnati, and no runs. I'm going to the bottom of the first inning. Don Buford starts it off against Tony Cloninger. And the windup and the pitch, here it comes. So it's a 6, so it's going to be off of Tony Cloninger's. And it's a 17 against the, he's a right-hander, so Don Buford is a switch hitter. He's going to bat left. So versus left-hander, a 17 is going to be a single. And into center field it goes for Don Buford. He's a B stealer. If we look at our base stealing chart, we can actually get rid of that. So our base stealing charts, he is, what did I say he was, a B stealer. What's our pitcher hold rating is going to be a B minus, so he'll be in this category. And our catcher's throw rating for is going to be Johnny Bench. Johnny Bench is A plus. So bad results there if it comes to a 71 to 88. Leadoff single though. All right. Does Buford go? I know that Statis Pro Delaware had this conversation on his YouTube channel a little bit ago, just a couple days ago. He talked about some people had asked him questions about when do you decide to steal, and interesting topics. So definitely go check it out at Stratomatic Delaware. You can watch his video, and maybe you can get some insight. I kind of think, like he does, it's kind of situational, and everybody has their different philosophies on what's a good time to steal, when it's not a good time to steal. But in this case, we're going to go to Mark Mellinger. See what Mark can do against Tony Cloninger. 9-7 with one save on the season. Righty versus righty. That's a 7, so it's a 64 off of the pitcher card, and 64 is going to be an out. Let's see what that all-important out is going to be with the runner on first. Dice chart. It's going to be a 23. He's an RN. 23. It's going to be right here. It's going to be... So we do have a runner on at first, so it's a 4-6-3 double play. 4, 6, 3, and double play with 2 stars. We got to stretch out our first inning already. So that brings up Boog Powell. Al, Red Sox fan, what's going on? We're live and in person here for the 1970 World Series, game number 3. Statis Pro Baseball, Boog Powell versus Tony Koninger. Bottom of the first. Double play result, clear the bases. That's going to be off the pitcher card. It's a 6. He's a 2-8 because he actually rolled. He's having a better pitching performance. So it's going to be off the pitcher card, and against the left-hander, it's going to be 61, which is an out. So we just have to re-roll to find out what kind of out it is. Against the lefty, he is an LP. So an LP 1-7. LP 1-7 is going to be a ground ball to first. So G3. And that's going to end the inning. So one hit for each team in the first inning, but nothing going on. We go on to the second inning. Yes, this is game number 3. So that brings up Lee May in the second inning. One hit apiece here. Lee May versus Dave McNally. That's a 10, so it's going to be off the batter card, and a 17 against the lefty. It's going to be a single into center field. So, single to start it off. He's a D stealer, not very good, so we'll just let him roll with Hal McRae coming up. Left fielder for the 1970 Cincinnati Reds against the Baltimore Orioles. Here we go. It is a 10. Once again, it's going to be off the batter card. And a 51. 51 is going to be an out against right-hander. I'm sorry, against left-handers. A 51, my bad. 51 is going to be a walk against the left-hander. So Hal McRae walks, and that puts Lee May on second. And Cincinnati's got something going here in the second inning. Brings up Tommy Helms. Tommy Helms. It's a 3, so it's finally coming off the pitcher card. 38 against the righty. 38. 38 is going to be a strikeout. So big strikeout there for the first out. It brings up Dave Concepcion. Dave Concepcion, the shortstop here for Cincinnati. And the windup and the pitch, here it comes. That is a 5, so once again coming off of Dave McNally. And a 16, though, is low against the right-hander. 16 is going to be a shot to center field. That's a 1B8 with runners on first and second. Let's look at the base running. The base running charts. Runners at first and second, it's a 1B8. All right, advancement to do. Runners at first base. All right, runners on third scores, on a double, second and third scores. Right. We know all that. Yeah. Outfield, increase outfielders T rating by 2. All runners score, modifier. All right, so we got a runner on second. Runner on second. Who happens to be Lee May. He's got a running OBR of C. So single the outfield, runner on second. Additional modifiers. It was a 1B8, I believe. He rolled a 16. It was a 1B8. So the OBR on base running is going to be +1. So instead of, let's see. Do you think that means? So Lee May has got an OBR of C. So you think it would drop it down to a D then? I would think. If it's +1, I would think that's... Oh, Al, Red Sox fan, so good to have me back. What are you going to be running later? I'm going to come check out your channel, Al, Red Sox fan. So I'm thinking +1 OBR, if you're a C, +1 would take you to a D. So we'll find out if Lee May scores on the single or if he's held up at third here. It's an 85, so that is going to be second to third. Actually, that was a single off the pitcher's card, actually. So hang on a second now. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Slow down, cowboy. I didn't scroll down far enough on the thing. He still rolled an 85, so it's probably only going to be a T rating to our center fielder is going to be center field is a T5. So T5, yeah, he's only going second to third on that. I gotcha. Okay, so that makes sense. Make the window a little bit bigger next time. So just going to third on the single. Going to third. Going to second. And Dave Concepcion with the single. That brings up the pitcher spot with the bases loaded. Holy cow. No, one out. Sorry, one out. Sacrifice bunts and squeeze plays, huh? Huh. He's actually got a few results. He's got a double, 11-14, and a home run, 15-18. And he can get a couple results off the pitcher card. We're just going to let him hit. We're just going to let him hit and see how he does. Bases loaded. We don't want to try to bunt here in the second inning. Don't give up that out if we don't have to. Defense is playing back, going for the double play. He'll give up the run for a couple outs, hopefully. Let's see what happens. So that's an 11. That's going to come off the... okay, so an 11, if we go to our conversion, dice conversion, on 11, that is a BD check. So a BD check for Tony Koninger, which happens to be the pitcher. BD check. That's interesting. Like the regular players, like Pete Rose, you can see their BD check is down here at the bottom of their card. I don't know if pitchers actually have a BD check on their card. Huh. Interesting. I'm not sure. Yeah, see, all the players have BD checks on the bottom of their cards, but the pitchers, there's no room to put the BD check. Let's look at the rules, I guess. Holy cow. You think Bernie Carbo was on the 1970 Reds? Second in the Rookie of the Year voting, I think. Wow, that's some good memory right there. Let's look at the rules again and see if we can figure out this BD check crap for the pitchers. Fast action, yeah. Play results. If the BD number, there's at least one runner on base, flip a new and consult the random number and add the pitcher's clutch modifier and refer to the clutch batting section of the batter's card at the bottom. On a BD hit, blah, 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 all runners on base score. I don't think the pitchers actually have a BD, so I think we ignore that rule in this case. That would be my guess, because they don't have them on their cards, because the pitchers usually don't have that good a bat. So we'll just take his result off of his cards, 58. 58 is going to be a strikeout. So a big strikeout there for the second out. That brings up Pete Rose for the second time. Might have done that wrong. If you know how to handle that situation. How's my hockey game coming along, ID, the one that you created? Great. I did some information on it in the video earlier today, if you want to check that out. Kind of the middle section before I started talking with you back and forth. I talked about the update to the hockey game. So you can check that out. All right, bases loaded for Pete Rose here against Dave McNally. 2 outs in the second inning. Big part of the game already. Here it is, windup, and the pitch is an 8 against the, let's see, he's going to be hitting from the right. So 2-6, so it's coming off of Pete Rose. It's a 51 against the lefty. 51 is going to be an out. It's going to be an out. Let's find out what kind of out it is. Pete Rose against the lefty is an RN. RN result of 56. RN 56. It's going to be a ground ball to short, so G6. And they get out of the inning. 2 singles. Brings them up to 3 hits. But nothing across for Cincinnati. All right, that brings up Frank Robinson. Frank Robinson. What are you doing on your channel, Al? Are you running anything new and interesting tonight? Are you watching the baseball game? What are you doing tonight? Frank Robinson against Tony Koninger. That's an 11. That's coming off of... Oh, that's another BD check. A BD check of 82, though, is going to be an out. It's going to be an out. And what kind of out is it? Against the right-hander, he's an RP. So that's a 43 RP. That's a liner to third. So an L5 liner. Hit down the line, and a great defensive play there by your third baseman, Tony Perez. Snags that one out of the air, robbing Frank Robinson of at least a double. That brings up Paul Blair. Tony Koninger here. 2-8 will get him a roll on his card. That is an 8, and even though he's a 2-7, it's actually 2-8 because he is pitching his brains out today. It's a 63 against the righty, and that's going to be an out too. So Paul Blair against the lefty is an RP, and we roll a 17. And it's going to be a ground ball hit to first, G3. For the second out, that brings up Brooks Robinson. And Baltimore's offense has just been horrible this whole World Series for us. That's a 3, that's a 4 coming off of Tony Koninger, and he rolled a 34 against the righty. 34. It's going to be a walk. So Brooks Robinson gets the walk. Oops. Just a walk. Thank you. That brings up Davey Johnson. Excellently, Brooks Robinson has got no speed. Okay, Davey Johnson. Watching the World Series and watching me. Well, that can't get much better than that. Thanks, Al. Davey Johnson here. That's an 8, so it's coming off of Koninger. And that's a 43 against the righty. 43 against the righty. 43 is a wild pitch. That's a wild pitch. So to see what we do about the wild pitch. Injuries. Let's All right, so we've got to check the wild pitch pass ball. We've got to check the catcher's CD rating. So in this case, the catcher is going to be Johnny Bench. His CD rating good question. What is Johnny Bench's CD rating? Is a 5. CD rating of 5. Yes. Okay, Johnny Bench is a 5. There we go. So on a CD 4 plus, so it's 11 to 28. So we roll to see if it's a wild pitch or if Johnny Bench stops it. It is a 22, so that is a wild pitch, as Johnny Bench can't stop it. Going to second on the wild pitch is Brooks Robinson. So interesting developments there. All right, so runner on second with 2 outs. Davy Johnson's still up. And the windup and the pitch, here it comes. That's a 5, so it's coming off of Cloninger. It's a 46 against the righty. 46 this time is an out. Let's find out what kind of out it is. That is a 25. He is an RN. 25. That's a G4, so ground ball hit to short for the 3rd out. So no runs, no hits, no errors. No runs, no hits, no errors. So after two complete, still nothing on the board. Going into the 3rd inning, we got Bobby Tolan coming up. Grounded to short his first time up. Bobby Tolan against Dave McNally. That's a 4. It's coming off of McNally against the lefty. 74 is an out. What kind of out is it? It is a LN22. LN22 is going to be a ground ball hit to first. G3. Tony Perez. Dave McNally, here we go. 5 coming off of McNally. He's a right-hander. It's a 48. That is just barely an out. What kind of out is it? Tony Perez against the lefties, an RP. So that is a 14 RP. It's going to be a ground ball right in front of the catcher. Throws him out at first. And that brings up Johnny Bench. Couldn't stop that wild pitch from happening. 2 outs here in the 3rd inning. That's a 9. He's coming off Johnny Bench. 81, though, is going to be an out against the lefty. What kind of out is it? Johnny Bench against the lefties, an RP, and he rolled an 88 against an RP. And it's a fly ball into right field. F9 question mark. No runs, no hits, no errors. We're going into the bottom of the 3rd. Quickly moving along as I'm really smoothly doing this. Except for a few of the plays that I wasn't 100% sure about the walking and about the pitcher with the BD check. So I'm not sure about how that. Anyways, Andy Etchenberry against Tony Cloninger. That's a 5.58 against the righty. 58 is going to be an out. What kind of out is it? It's an RN. And it's a 34 RN. 34 is going to be G5. G5. That brings up Dave McNally, the pitcher. Let's see if the pitcher can do something for himself. That's a 12. So on a 12, there will be a CD check. All right, so we're going to do the CD check. All right, so we got to. So yeah, we rolled doubles, so we got to check for an error as well. So we got a CD check and an error check. Okay, so if pass ball 2 or 12 determine the fielder who gets the thing, blah blah blah. So Dave McNally is a RN, right normal. He rolled an 87, so it's going to be the right fielder. So we're going to be checking the right fielder CD check. Right fielder happens to be Pete Rose. So we're checking out Pete Rose's error. His CD, which is 3, right? Make sure this Pete Rose, his CD and right field is a 3. Yes. Okay. So that's what this number is. Even though I have R up there, it should be our CD. Okay. So CD of 3. So now we have to check. We got to do it to the CD chart for the outfielders. And we're going to look under the 3 column to find out what happens here. Does Pete Rose make the catch? Rolled a 73 on the 3 column. 73 is going to be fielder makes running catch to deep fly at the warning track, runner on third scores. So, and because Pete Rose actually is an E0, we will look at to see if he makes an error, but I don't think E0s actually make any errors. Nope. So I don't have to make a check against him. Only E1 to E10s. So no error on the play either on the double 6 roll. So it's a simple F9, although it came very close, F9 actually, to being a good hit for the pitcher. That would have been interesting. All right, good for him. Got a nice shot there in the outfield. Didn't quite carry. Pete Rose got under it and made the play as he bobbled it almost out of his glove there. Don Buford singled in the first. Let's make sure there is 2 outs. Yes. Okay, so we should keep this open here like that. There we go. All right, roll it again. So Buford against Koninger. That is a 7, so it's coming off Koninger's card. It's a 22 against the left-hander. 22 is going to be a single. So 2 for 2 on the day is Don Buford. He's just not getting any help from his teammates. Mark Bellinger. Hang on a second. No roll. Let's look at his. He's a B stealer. He's going to go for it. He's going to go for it. Let's see what he can do. Buford's going to go for it. He's been the only one that's been able to do anything so far against Koninger. He rolls a 76. That doesn't sound good. Base stealing. He rolled a 76. We got to check Pete Rose, who happens to be, or I'm sorry, Johnny Bench. We got to check his arm rating. 71-88 is caught stealing, so he is caught stealing and thrown out by Johnny Bench. And that's going to end the inning. Another hit, both hits, but nothing to show for it as we move on to the 4th inning. That brings up Lee May. Lee May, yep. Where is he? There he is. Lee May against Dave McNally here, 4th inning. Both pitchers having a field day here. It's a 4. 65 against the righty is going to be an out. What kind of out is it? It is a 34. He is against the lefties an RP. 34. It's going to be GX5. So it's going to be a ground ball hit down to third base, making the play. And we have Hal McRae. Singled his first time up, got all the way over to third, but couldn't get home. Lee May, 1 for 1 on the day. It's coming off of Dave McGalley's card, and come on, wiggle. That's a 3. We're going to leave it as a 3. There we go. So it's a 5. So it's coming off of McNally, but a 13 against the righty is going to be a single. So a single, and he is going to stay put there. Tommy Helms struck out his first time up. Let's see what he can do. That's a 7. That's coming off of right-hander. That's going to come off of Tommy Helms' card. 78 is going to be an out. Let's see what kind of out it is. Against the lefty is an RN. It is an 84 with runners on. Is an RN. Runner on first. Runner on first, RN. He rolled an 84. Fly ball into center field. No advancement. I'm sorry, 84 is going to be right field. Yeah, right field. For the second out, brings up Dave Concepcion. Singled his first time up in the second inning. And we're waiting on these dice to stop bouncing around here. There we go. That's an 8 against the righty, so it's coming off of Concepcion, but he rolled an 84. That will be an out. He's an RN. And he rolled a 15, RN 15. It's going to be a fly ball to the catcher behind the plate. F2. And another hit for the Reds. Still no score, though. Zeros on the board. All right, that brings up Mark Bellinger. Tony Koninger keep going here in the fourth inning. That's a 10, so it's coming off of Bellinger. It's a 35 against the righty. 35 is going to be a strikeout. 26 to 38. I'm sorry, 37. So that is a strikeout. Boog Powell. That's 7, so it's coming off of Cleninger. 68 against the lefty is an out. What kind of out is it? He's an LP. LP of 54. That's going to be F7. Or I'm sorry, F5. Fly ball to third baseman. Frank Robinson. Liner down the line. Great play by the third baseman last time up against Frank Robinson. That is a 7, so 725 against the righty. That is a strike. 25 is not a strikeout. That is going to be a ground ball hit to short. 25. It's a G6, and it's another 1-2-3 inning for Cleninger. No runs, no hits, no errors. Due up here at the top of the fifth inning is Tony Koninger. They're going to go ahead and bat for him and keep him in the game here in the fifth inning. That's a double, 2, so we got several things to look for. We got a CD check. So we're going to find out who the CD check is. It is, that's down at the bottom of this chart. And we got to check for an error as well. So Cloninger is an RP, and we rolled a 32, which happens to be the third baseman. So let's look at the third baseman here for Baltimore is Brooks Robinson. He's got a CD of 4. Oh, it doesn't matter. Yes, it does, but we got a CD chart, and that's going to be third baseman right there. We're on the 4 column. Let's roll and see what happens. It is a 68, 368. It's going to be great catch of a foul pop-up, LF line, runners hold. So pop up to the third baseman, makes the play. We do have to check for an error, though. His error rating, third baseman, error of E4. So we go back to the error chart. E4, so 11 to 43 will be an error. Let's see if he drops it in foul territory. It's a 42. He actually does drops it in foul territory. Should have made the play, but doesn't. So if error, yes, determine type of error. So we have an infielder. What kind of error is it going to be? Because it wasn't a foul ball after all. A 65. 65 is going to be type 3 error. Let's go to our error chart. What did we decide it was? An E3 error? E3 error on a... This is an interesting one because we came off of the third baseman. He rolled pop-up, great catch of foul pop-up down the left field line, runners hold. So in that case, it can't actually be an error because it would just be a foul ball. So, interesting. So I think we, at that point, if we look at our dice conversion chart again, roll a 2 or 12 is a CD check. So we roll the CD check. But also, if you roll, if the RN is doubles, then you check for an error. So the CD check comes into play, which tells it it's a foul ball. So I'm going to assume that because of that foul ball, it's just going to be a foul ball repitch. Otherwise, he might have actually had an error on the third baseman. It did say it was a foul ball, though. Let's check that chart one more time. Crazy. So if we go to third base, shortstop, third baseman, yeah, great catch, a foul pop-up, LF, runners hold. But then we have to roll for the error. We did roll an error, and then... So instead of an out, because I'm just going to say instead of making the catch, he didn't make the catch, but since it was foul territory, can't advance. There we go. That's my ruling on the play. Actually, hang on a second. Where are we? Yeah, we're starting off the 5th inning, right? Yeah, that's what we're doing. Because I'm like, wait a minute, we're in the 4th inning. They already have 3 outs. No, we're in the 5th inning. There we go. Here we go. All right. That's coming off of Dave McNally. 28 against the right-hander. Right-hander 28. 28. G6. So this time gets him with a little ground ball too short for the first out. Pete Rose, 0 for 2 on the day. And that is a 6-6, which is interesting because if you use the dice and you actually get If the PB number and the RN number match, then we go to the Z chart. The Z chart is the rare play chart, I think. So, I don't actually have that chart out because I didn't figure we were ever going to use it. So let's roll again and see what number we get. We'll bring out the Z chart here. All right, so we rolled a 74. 74. Here we are. All right, so batter grounded to shortstop who throws wild to first. First baseman comes off the base, catches ball, and tags runner awkwardly. Batter out 6-3. Check first baseman for injury. We're not going to do injury, so it's a 6-3 put out there. Ground ball to short. So second out. That brings up Bobby Tolan. 2 ground balls, 1 to shortstop, 1 to first base. 0 for 2 on the day. Let's minimize this so I can see my other screen. We got doubles, so we're going to check CD of 25. Boy, we didn't have any CD checks. And all of a sudden we're having them left and right. So rolled a 25. He is against the lefties in LN. LN rolled a 25. That's going to be first baseman check this time. So first baseman is going to be Bog Powell. He's got a 3. So let's check that 3 for the first baseman. Roll the die again and check out the results. That's a 43. 43 is going to be hard grounder, handled cleanly, batter out, runners advance 1 base, infield in, runner on third base holds. All right, so it's just a simple G3 unassisted. Great play. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 4.5 complete. Still scoreless game here in game number 3 of the World Series. A real pitcher's duel going on here. We got Paul Blair up for Baltimore. Grounded to first his first time up. And come on, get these dice. Let's go. That's a 1. We're going to keep that as a 1. 1. So it's not actually, it should be a 31. 3-1. It was a 1 in the middle. I just dragged it over. So 31-8. It's coming off of Paul Blair against the right-hander. 31 is going to be a home run. And just as I say that, bam, home run. Oops. For Paul Blair. Oh my gosh. Home run. And the Orioles strike first. Tribe Fan is in the house. Hello, Mr. Tribe Fan. As soon as he shows up, Paul Blair hits himself a home run to break this scoreless deadlock here in the, oops, I put that in the wrong spot. That should be right there in the 5th inning here, right? We're in the 5th. Yes, we are. And that breaks a scoreless tie here in the 5th inning, and the home crowd gets excited for a change. Home run. Going back, gone. That's a 5, so it's coming off of Koninger, and that's a 61 out. What kind of out is it? It is a simple little against the lefties in RN. I'm sorry, against the righties in RP. All right, RP21, RP21 is a G4, so little ground ball hit down to second base. That brings up Davey Johnson, grounded to second his first time up. Tony Koninger has been pitching a hell of a game here. That's a 12. Once again, we're going to run into the same issue we ran into last time, as we have a CD check of 31. That's an RN. RN31, that's going to be second baseman this time. We're going to be checking the second baseman, which happens to be Tommy Helms. He's got a 3. So second baseman, he's got a 3. We do have a runner on. No, we don't have a runner on. Do we have a runner on? Wait a minute. We do not have a runner on. Yes. All right. So a 3 for the second baseman is going to be a 72. That's going to be runs down, high pop to left field, foul line, runners hold. So it's just going to be a fly ball to second there. And we'll get to Andy Etchenberry. On game 13, he won the game to go 10-1 of the season. Did you see Porcello update? On game 13, he won the game 10-1 on the season. Kluber lost his game 13, 2-0. Indians were piss poor with runners in scoring position. Kluber is 6-4 on the season. And we rolled us a same thing. We got us another rare play, a 4 and a 4 result. So we have us a second rare play. Let's roll the bones and see what happens. Roll the bones here as Andy Etchenberry gets himself a rare play. It's a 28. 28. Batter pulls a muscle swing. 11-68, misses rest of game. Check for injury, blah, blah, blah. This is going to be a strikeout to end the inning. I don't usually do injuries when I'm doing a replay because, well, yeah. So one more hit, one run on one hit, no errors, and going into the 6th inning, it is 1-0. That brings up, who is up? Tony Perez. Tony Perez is up. Kluber is struggling, says Tribe fan. Nice. All right, so we got doubles. So we got to check the CD. CD of 37 against the RP. RP 37. It's going to be the shortstop. Going to be checking the shortstop, which is Mark Bellinger. He's a 4. So shortstop, he's a 4 rated. Let's roll and see what happens. 81, 481. That's going to be, goes deep in the hole, just nips batter at first. Runners advance 1 base. But we're just going to say that's a simple G, 6 out. That brings up Tony Bench. 2 fly balls deep into right field, but nothing else to show for it. That is coming off of, he's a right-hander, so 2-6. That's going to come off of Johnny Bench's card, and that is a 21. 21 is a double. So Johnny Bench with a double. And that brings up Lee May with 1 out. Runner on second. Here we go. That's a 6 against the righty, so it's coming off of McNally. 73 is an out. So this is going to be interesting. We have a runner on second. We're going to find out what he is. Against the lefties, an RP. RP of 51. RP 51 is going to be GX6. With the runner on second is going to be a 6-3 and then a pound sign. So what does the pound sign say? The pound sign says, I'm looking for pound sign right here. So an OBR of D or E out at third. And the batter's safe. So Who is on second? It happens to be Johnny Bench. He's got an OBR of C. So on the pound sign, D or E's out at third. But nope, Johnny Bench makes it in time. So they throw over to first to get the out. But going to third on the play. And that went to that was a 51, so that was a 6, so it was shortstop. So it was a shortstop. Had thought about it going to third. Instead, he decides to go home and take the for sure out. So runner on at third once again for Cincinnati. That brings up Hal McRae. Walked and a single in the fourth inning. Singled, second inning walk. Runner on third. This is the second time they've had a runner on third. Can they put this guy across? Let's see. Here we go. That is a 7 against the right-hander. So it's going to come off of Hal McRae, and that 26 against the lefty. 26. Is it going to be going, and gone against the left-hander? Hal McRae with the 2-run home run. And Johnny Bench and Hal McRae, and just like that, the Reds take a lead 2-1 here in the top of the sixth inning. Home run, that's right, unbelievable. Baltimore's done everything to give these games away, I'll tell you, it's been incredible. 5, this one's coming off of McNally here against the right-hander. A 75 is an out. What kind of out is it? He's an RN, and he rolled a 24 RN. That's going to be G4. But Cincinnati gets 2 more hits. They're up to 6 hits and 2 runs. And now take a 2-1 lead going in the bottom of the 6th inning. And that's going to be it for Dave McNally, as his spot is due up at the start here at the bottom of the 6th inning. Wow. That's pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy. I'm just looking at the actual game results. Were obviously much different than we're doing, but Baltimore made 0 changes to their lineup throughout the game. See that? Baltimore made no changes. No pitch hitters, no pitchers, no nothing. Same lineup throughout the whole game. But in our game, we're going to have to change that up. Dave McNally's day will be done. We're going to bring in a pinch hitter. For Baltimore, who shall we bring in? Somebody good against a right-hander. Let's see here. Terry Crowley. Looks like he's pretty good against right-handers. Yeah, we're going to bring in Terry Crowley to pinch hit here for Baltimore. So Terry Crowley is coming in the 6th inning. Bottom of 6, is that where we're at? Yes. So that's it for Dave McNally. Probably could have left him in a little bit longer, but you gotta take your shots when you can. Now's be a good time to start off the inning with the new. So we're actually he goes over here. I don't know what I'm doing over there yet. I have to worry about the pitchers next. But Terry Crowley's coming in to face Tony Cloninger. That's a 10, so it's coming off of Crowley's card, and he rolled a 55 against the righty. 55 is a walk. So Tony Crowley comes in and does his job and gets a big walk. Just, oops, 6th inning, dude. Starts off with the walk. He is a very slow base runner, though, which kind of sucks. They might want to pinch run. Let's see. Let's see if they have any speedy guys. Anybody speedy on the bench? Come on there, guys. Anybody? Anyone? Ooh, Merv Rettenmund. Merv Rettenmund. They're making the change right here. That's right. Damn, I'm doing some coaching here. Merv, I've never done this. Merv Rettenmund is coming in to pinch run. Pinch run. The 6th inning. It's a slider. Sheets over a little bit. There we go. So he's coming in. And you know what he's in there for? That's right. He's got to go. He's got to go. He's got to go. He's an A-. Nobody out. Here we go. He's going to try and steal on Tony Cloninger. Even though Johnny Bench is Mr. Gun him down in third. Just needs to get on. Let's see if he can do it now. Here we go. It's an 87 again, and Johnny Bench is 2 for 2. Look at that. Bam. 71 to 88. Throws him out. That's second. Caught stealing for the out. I can't do that. So it'll be just caught stealing out. Oh, big play there as Johnny Bench once again comes through with the big out. That brings up Don Buford here. Baltimore thought they had something rolling here in the 6th inning. But Johnny Bench 2 for 2 on catching the Steelers. Sorry guys, I haven't been able to keep track of what you guys are talking about, but looks like Al Rick's fan. Very famous play happened in this World Series. Catcher tagged, I believe, Carbo with the glove, but the ball was in his hand. Carbo was called out when he should have been safe. That's a 3, so it's coming off of Cloninger. 88 is going to be an out. Buford against the right-handers, an LP. Let's find out what kind of out it is. And that might have taken the air out of the sail here. 85 LP is going to be fly ball into right. F9. Oops, 9. Let's try that again. That brings up Mark Bellinger, who's hitting the ground ball double play in the first, struck out in the 4th inning. That's a 7-11. That's coming off of Cloninger, right-hander, 7-11. That's going to be an infield hit by Mark Bellinger. And he is on first. Bellinger's a B+. He's the only other player on Baltimore's team that even has a chance of stealing. Do they try? Do they dare test Johnny Bench's arm once again? Yes, they do. Here they go. Bellinger. He's off with the pitch. Here he comes. Wind up the throw. It's a... Oh, no. Oh, no. It's a... What is that? That is a 5? Yes, it is. It's a 57. Okay. 51 to 58. That's a 57. That's going to be a stolen base and an error possibility. Who's the error possibility on? If the catcher's E rating is in the next fact error range. So I'm going to roll the dice again. If they're doubles, then it's an error on Johnny Bench. Let's see. The 2 6-siders are double 3, so an error on Johnny Bench. And what kind of error is that going to be? Does it tell us? Runner takes 1 extra base, E2. Okay, so there we go. That's going to be a stolen base and on to second, and then E2 on to third base. And Baltimore, which looked dead in this inning, is now suddenly come back. Runner on third for Boog Powell. Boog Powell. Holy cow, an error on Johnny Bench. That's it. Johnny Bench with the error. Boog Powell, who is 0 for 2 on the day, could drive in a run and tie this ball game up. Let's see what happens. That is going to be a CD check and an error check. 54. He is an LP. So we need to find out who's getting the play here. LP of 54. Center fielder. So let's look at center fielder here. For Cincinnati is Bobby Tolan. He's got a range of 3. Outfielder, a range of 3. Let's find out. If this falls in, it's going to score a run. That's a 12. Great catch of sinking line drive. Lead runner doubled off trying to return to his base. Are you kidding me? It didn't matter because that would have been the 3rd out. He was caught stealing. He was caught in a fly ball. But we do have to check for an error on him. Maybe he did drop it after all. Error check. He's an E3. Let's find out if there is an error. Anytime you roll doubles, you got to check for an error. E3, so 11 to 34 is an error on the play. Does he make an error and drop it after all? Let's find out. 11 to 34, it's an error. 56, no error on the play, and that is an F8. Great play, great defense, and an exciting inning go by the wayside as a walk turned into a pinch hit. The pinch runner caught stealing by Johnny Bench. Another single and a stolen base and an error on Johnny Bench. And wow, crazy stuff going on there. So, 4 runs. We got an error. Oops, 1 error. And nothing across. So going into the 7th inning here, we need to bring out a new pitcher. That'd probably be a good idea, wouldn't it? Let's see here. Eddie Watt looks like their closer, so we don't want to use him. Jim Harden. He did relieve 13 games. Jim Palmer. We might bring back in Lopez. He only pinched 1 inning the other day. Mike Solar started 40 games. We're gonna bring in Mo Drambowski. Gonna bring in the big Bambowski here. Mo's a man. Mo Drambowski coming in the 7th inning here. So Mo Drambowski against the potent Reds lineup here in the 7th inning. All right. We're bringing in the big Moster. Yep, Mo. We need Mo. All right, Mo. Well, we got to find out how Mo is pitching, too. We got to use our little chart here. We're Memorial Stadium 1970. You need less than 31 to get a good result. Make yourself better. Let's find out. Low is good. That's a 23. That is going to be a +1 to all of Mo's abilities. So 2 to 4 is going to go 2 to 5, and 4 to 7 goes to 2 to 5. 4 to 7, I think, goes to, what does it go to? Damn it. Rules. I don't have that remembered off the top of my head at this point, so let's look at the rule real quick. I should probably put that in a little chart or something so I have that. Here we are. All right, so a 2 to 4 becomes a 2 to 5, and a 4 to 7 becomes a 2 to 7. All right, so 4 to 5 against lefties, 2 to 7 against right-handers. All right, I'll keep that up there in case we need it. There we go. All right, here we go. Mo is back out there against Tommy Helms. No, I'm sorry, against Dave Concepcion. Starting off the 7th inning here. That's a 5 against the right-hander. What did we say he was? 4 to 7 goes 2 to 7. So, yep, that's going to be a, on the pitcher, 85. That's going to be an out. What kind of out is it against Concepcion against the righties? An RN. RN of what? Come on. Come on. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. 66 RN. 66 F7. So fly ball to center or left field. That brings up the pitcher spot. Does Koninger he's only given up how many hits has he given up? He's given up 4 hits. How many walks? 1 walk. 2 walks. Just trying to figure out what his strength left would be. He's got his starters. I think that's what the GR is there. So he'd have his 12 to start off with. He'd be down to 11, 10, 9, 8, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. So he still have 5 strength left. He could still go another inning. So they're going to leave Koninger in there to face off against Mo Dombrowski. And that's a 4 against the righty and a 53. 4 53 is an out. What kind of out is it? He is a RP. He's an RP of 54. RP of 54. G6. So Koninger, G6. That brings up Pete Rose. Ground ball, 2 ground balls to short, 1 fly ball into left field. 0 for 3 on the day. That's an 8 against he would bat left-handed, so that's going to be off a Pete Rose card. 55 against a righty, 55. 55 is just an out. Look at that, just what he needed. And against the righties, an LN. An LN of 86. It's going to be fly ball into right field. And that is 1, 2, 3 outs. So nothing going for Cincinnati. And we are doing the 7th inning stretch. 7th inning stretch is Koninger comes out to face off against Robinson, Blair and Robinson. Heart of the lineup, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. Who's pretty much, well, Paul Blair did get the home run so far. So Frank Robinson's 0 for 2 on the day. Let's see if we can get a hit, start things off for the Orioles here. They need something. That's going to be a 7-24-7 against the right-hander, 24. 24 is a G6. So G6 for G6 for Frank Robinson. That brings up Paul Blair, home run the last time up in the 5th inning. And this time it's an out. He's an RN. 12. RN of 12. RN 12 is going to be back to the pitcher. G1. Ground ball back to the pitcher. Brings up Brooks Robinson. Walked in the first. I'm sorry, in the second. Ground ball to second in the 5th. And that's coming off of Koninger, but 83 is going to be an out. What kind of out is he? He's an RP of 58. RP 58 is a liner to short. L6. Another 1, 2, 3 inning, and we're in the top of the 8th inning. That brings up Bobby Tolan. 1, 2, 3 inning for Mo there. Let's see if he can do another 1, 2, 3 inning. So that is a 757 against the lefty. It's coming off of Tolan. 57 against the righty. 57 is a walk. Just barely a walk. And he's an AA stealer, so he's got to go. He's got to go. He's an AA stealer. Let's see what he does. Only up run. They got to get more. That is a 68, though. That is going to be, we're going to have to check the pitcher's hold rating is an A-. So 68 is right there. It is a balk. That is a balk possibility. So, error balk. I'm going to check the balk, I think. Let's see. If we go down the chart here. Balk. Possible balk. Check the balk chart and pick a new RN. Okay, yeah. So we're going to go and look at our balk charts. The lead runner's speed. The lead runner, in this case, is Bobby Tolan. His speed is an A. So 11 to 78, it will be a balk. As he freaks him out thinking he's stealing, he tries to wheel over after he started the pitch, and that is a balk over to second. Balk to second base. Well, that brings up Tony Perez. Cincinnati, nobody out. Runner on second here in the top of the 8th inning. Higher Ground Gaming's in the house. Hello, Higher Ground Gaming. You should check out his channel. He's got Grimoire, a new fantasy game that has tons and tons of exploration and stuff like that. And I've actually got a character in his game, a Dro Wizard. Yeah. So you can go check out his channel, Higher Ground Gaming, and we can watch how that game comes along and see if my Wizard lives through the first encounter. That's an 11. 11 is something bad. That's a BD check. There is a runner on. So we need to check the BD for Tony Perez. That's at 36. Tony Perez BD down here at the bottom against right-handers. 36 is going to be a triple. 35 to 38 is a triple for Tony Perez, who comes through with the triple and scores a run on the play. Coming around to score, Cincinnati comes home on the triple by Tony Perez. Oh, Higher Ground Gaming says he's uploading the first episode right now. I was going to let you know, Higher Ground Gaming, that I had looked at the OBS software, and I don't know why you're having troubles loading it out, but I don't own the game, so it's hard for me to look at it to try to figure out what's going on. But you should be able to either broadcast the game if it's a DirectX game. If you can't use the DirectX, you should be able to do some kind of a screen capture to capture it just like I'm doing here. So this, since you asked me about it, I use the XSplit here, and basically what all I'm doing here is capturing a screen, which happens to be my monitor over here. So you should be able to do it one of two ways. So if you're running into problems, we can always look at it. Tony Perez with the triple here. Brings up Tony Bench, singled last time up, and the Cincinnati extends their lead 3-1. And that's a 5 against the right-hander. So that's going to be Mo Dombrowski, and a 37 against the righty. 37 is an out. What kind of out is it? This is going to be very important because that runner's on third base, Tony Perez. It's an 81, and he is an RP. Where am I? RP of 81. RP 81 is an F8 runner on at third. Is this column here, which shows is just an F8, no advancement. So not deep enough. F8. Yeah, F8. He rolled an 81. Yep, just a regular F8. Out. So first out. That brings up Lee May here. Mo Dombrowski. Can he get one more out? That's an 11. So an 11 is a BD check. 84 on the BD check is an out. So Lee May is out on the BD check. What kind of out is it, though? He is an RP. An RP of 77. RP is 77. Is another F8. So once again, runner holds on the short fly balls. Runner stays at third. That brings up Hal McRae, and good defense by Baltimore so far. Can they get out of there? Can they get out of this inning without giving up a run? That's a 7 against the righty. It's coming off of Dombrowski. 73 is an out, and they did it. Got out of the inning. 84 out against an RP. 84 is fly ball to center. So 3 short fly balls to center keeps Tony Perez at third, but they ended up getting a walk, a balk, and then a triple. So one more hit gives them 7 hits, and one more run. So going to the bottom of the 8th inning, 3-1. And that brings up Davey. Oops, wrong side. That brings up Davey Johnson, but I think Koninger's day is going to have to be done. Oops, I did not mean to click that button. No. Go away. I didn't mean to click you. All right, so Cincinnati is going to their bullpen here. They're bringing in Wayne Grainer. Wayne Grainer, I think is how it's pronounced his name. Let's insert a column there. We'll put in Wayne. Thank you. Wayne Granger is coming into the 8th inning, and he'll be facing off against Davey Johnson. So we will mark those guys. And George Springer just hit his 3rd home run to give Houston a 1-0 lead over the Dodgers with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. So they have a 1-0 game going there as well. So some tight pitching games going on here in the World Series in real life and in our awesome replay here. So Wayne Granger, we got to see how well Wayne Granger does at the old chart here. Let's look at C. So he needs 31 or higher. He's just normal. He's a 35, so just barely normal. So he's just going to be a normal stat day for Wayne Granger. Not having a good day, but he's not having a bad day either. So go Astros, Al Red Sox, or I'm sorry, Higher Ground Gaming says. Alex Wood was pitching a no-hitter, really, wow. Go Astros. Yeah, I'm rooting for the Astros. We don't want these stinking Dodgers to win it. All right, Davey Johnson against Wayne Granger, down 2 runs, bottom of 8th. Here we go. They need something to roll here. That's a 5 against the right-hander. It's coming off of Granger. That's a 27, though. That is going to be a G6. It worked out in the long run. G6 out. Brings up Andy Etchenbarren. That is a... Come on. Roll. Come on, wiggle. That's a 7. There we go. That's an 8 against right-hander, so it's coming off of Granger's card. 74 is an out. What kind of out is it? He is a RP. 68 RP is a F7. That brings up pinch hitter. Pinch hitter for Baltimore. That's what it brings up. Let's see. We use Crawley. We got him in the game. Bob Gritch. Bob Gritch is going to come in, I guess. He's coming in the Bobby. He's coming in the 8th inning. Bobby Grich is coming in. He'll be over here to face off against Wayne Granger. Come on, Bobby Grich. Get things rolling here. We need something. That's a 4, which is Granger's card. 24 against the righty. 24. It's going to be a single, and Bobby Grich steps in and delivers a big single here in the 8th inning. S1. Oops, is that his column? That is his column. Okay. So that brings up the top of the lineup here. Just minimize his card. Don Buford. 2 for 3 with 2 singles on the day. Gritch is, let's see, Gritch, how fast are you, buddy? You're just a C, huh? You're just a C. Now bring up the tying run. Don't try and steal. Don Buford against the right-hander. He needs a 2.5, 2.6, or 2.7 for a home run. Here we go. Don Buford against Wayne Granger. That is a 7-11, which is going to be an infield single off of Granger's card. Because he would bat left-handed, so 2-7. That is going to be an infield single, so everyone advances. And Buford keeps things alive for Baltimore here. Is going to second on the play. Runners at first and second for Mark Bellinger. Singled in the 6th inning. Stole the base and got to third on the error by Johnny Bench. That's right, Johnny Bench with the error. So Bellinger versus Wayne Granger. Here's the pitch. Here it comes. That's an 8 against the righty. So it's going to be off of Granger. 27. 27. Oh, it's a G6. G6 with runners at first, but I think that's the third out. Is it not the third out? Let's see. 1 out. Wait a minute. Oh, yes, this should be an out. Didn't have a little star there. So they had a ground ball to, I think that should have been G6, but for some reason, then they had a fly ball to center. Then he came in. Let's have to slide this over even more. There we are. So that is going to be 2 hits. But what did we decide that was? G6, right? G6 for the third out. 1, 2, and 3. Yep. So 2 more hits though, but nothing to show for it. We go in the 9th inning. Going into the 9th inning, and Baltimore needs to bring out all the stops here. I forget who their closer was. Eddie Watts. He's going to come in. Eddie Watts going to come in and try to shut him out in the 9th inning here. Coming in the 9th, Eddie Watt. And let's see, who's he going to face off against first? Facing off against that spot right there. That is Tommy Helms. Okay. I'll color code it green. That's fine. So Tommy Helms. Tommy Helms against Eddie Watt. Top of the 9th, 3-1 Cincinnati. And that is a 4. Oh, wait. Before we do that, we got to find out if he's having a good pitching day, right? So back up. 38 or higher, or 31 or higher, it's just a normal pitching day. 77, so it's just normal. Okay, now we can have Tommy Helms and Eddie Watt go at it. Tommy Helms is strikeout, fly ball, ground out. That is a 4 against the righty, so it's coming off of Watt's card. 58 is going to be an out. What kind of out is it? It is an RN. RN of 87. It's probably going to be RN 87, fly ball into right field. F9. Dave Concepcion. 0 for 3 with a strikeout. That's an 11. That's going to be a PB check. But I don't think you check for PB. I think it says actually here somewhere. On a PB roll of 11 with no one on base, you resolve the play normally. Okay, so Dave Concepcion is an 11, so it's coming off his card. It's a 1-4. That's going to be a single for Dave Concepcion. And that's going to bring up a pinch hitter for Cincinnati. That's going to bring in Ty Klein. What a name. Insert Ty Klein. Klein. He's coming in the 9th inning as well. All right, so Ty Klein against Eddie Watt here. It's doubles, so we're going to be checking for CD 32. CD of 32 against Ty Klein against the righties in LN. LN 32 is going to be second base. So we're going to be looking at second baseman here. Second base. Where is he? Davy Johnson. He's a 4. CD of second base. Davy Johnson. Let's find out what happens. He's a 4, so we're going to look at the 4 column. 67 is going to be nice play on a slow roller. Batter out 4-3. Others advance a base. Infield in, runner at third holds. Okay, so it's just a... Where are we? We are way over here now. Oh, we had a runner on at first. So it didn't matter. Runners advance one base. It's going to be in G4 out. And going to second on the play. Oops. G4 out should be actually down here. G4 out. Not that it matters. All right, that brings up. Just don't have enough room. Just Pete Rose. If I do this, then I don't have enough room for my charts. Oh well. All right, so what are we doing? Pete Rose against Eddie Watt. 2 outs here in the top of the 9th. Runner on second. Big hit by Pete Rose could give him another run. That is a 7 against the left-hander. So against the lefty, it's coming off a Pete Rose card. 88 though. 88's an out. What kind of out is he against the right-handers in LN? LN of 36. Ground ball to second. G4. And they have nothing there, but they did get another hit. All right. So, Wayne Granger got 2 outs in this 8th inning. Now is going to have to close out the 9th inning against Boog Powell. Boog Powell. Bog. Wayne Granger against Boog Powell. The crowd's boo. That is a 5, so it's coming off of Granger's card. 31, though, that is going to be G6 against the left-hander versus left-hander is going to be G4. 31. So G4. Frank Robinson, 0 for 3 on the day. A liner. Good stop by the third baseman. 2 ground balls to short. That is a double. We're going to be checking CD of 28. He's a RP. 28 is third base. Third baseman, Tony Perez, is a 2. This could be interesting. Third base? Is that what he said? Yes, Tony Perez, third base. He's a 2. Let's see what we roll. We rolled a 24 and a 2 is hot smash right at third baseman. Lead runner doubled off. If 2 on and runners on third, triple play. Well, it just happens to be just a simple little G5 put out there. Actually, it was a Braid Adams W, an L5, I guess. So that's his second L5 of the game. Look at that. In the 2nd inning and now in the 9th inning. And that brings up Paul Blair. Hit a home run in the 5th inning. He better do something to keep this going against Granger. And here we go. Paul Blair, Wayne Granger. 6 against the righty. That's coming off of Granger. 41 against the right-hander is a strikeout to end the inning. To end the game. Strikeout. And that ends it. Let's look at the final box score here. See, these guys are 14. These are 12 centered. And we'll extend this out like that. There we go. Looks a little better that way. And do this. There we go. So, game number 3 goes to Cincinnati 1-0. 8 hits by Cincinnati, 1 error on Johnny Bench. And after 3 games of the 1970 World Series, Cincinnati has won all 3 games against Baltimore and takes a commanding 3-0 lead in the series. The only way Baltimore can continue on is to win or go home now at this point. Wow, 3 games in a row. And it's strange that we actually have this result because in the 1970 World Series, Baltimore was actually up 3-0 after today's game, as Baltimore had won all 3 games against Cincinnati. So we've got the exact opposite result going on here, as we are finding out that Cincinnati is a much better team than what they played like in the 1970 World Series. And we got a tie ball game here in the World Series. LA won, Houston won. In the top of the 7th inning with 2 outs. Well, that'll be it here from Baltimore, Maryland in 1970. Once again, your final score, the Cincinnati Reds, 3 runs on 8 hits, 1 error. Baltimore, 1 run on 6 hits, no errors. 3 games in the series, Cincinnati leads 3 games to 0. And if Baltimore's offense does not start doing something, they are going to be swept out of this World Series from 1970. Thanks to Al, Red Sox fan, for joining us tonight. Of course, Higher Ground Gaming for joining us tonight as well. We also had Tribe fan in for a while there. And who else do we have in here? Anybody else I can think of? All kinds of great people stopped in to check out the live stream. I do appreciate everyone stopping in. And hopefully we'll be able to get you guys some more action, assuming we don't get banned again. Anyways, we're going to go watch the rest of the 2017. I'm so used to saying 1970. I'm going to go watch the rest of the 19. I did it again. I'm going to watch the rest of the World Series now that's tied 1 game apiece. I didn't think it would be the 7th inning before I finished our game, but oh well. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining me. We'll see you guys soon. Take care. Have a good evening, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.